As the cook of the house, I decided to learn how to make pizza once I realized how much we were spending on both frozen and takeout pizzas. I didn't have yeast on hand, so after some research, I was able to find a recipe without yeast. From then on, I use this pizza dough recipe every week, and I add my own twist to it. I'm excited to explain how pizza came about, the materials needed, and how to make this simple, inexpensive, yeastless pizza. According to dictionary.com, in the early 1800s, pizza was recorded as a small cake or wafer for the first time in an English dictionary. The ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks all consumed flatbreads with different toppings, but the modern birthplace of pizza is said to be Naples, Italy. Neapolitans needed an inexpensive and quick food, so that way they can get on about their day, especially the lower class. But many Italian authors would call the Neapolitans' eating habits disgusting, and this seemed very classist. According to History.com, in 1905, G. Lombardi's in Manhattan was licensed to sell pizza, and this was the first documented U.S. pizzeria. Before that, pizza was homemade or sold by unlicensed vendors in the United States. The popularity in Italy, however, was limited to Naples until the 1940s, which is around the time pizza became popular internationally. Many U.S. chains, including Pizza Hut and Domino's, are now located internationally in about 60 different countries. So I took my recipe originally from justataste.com, but I added my own spin to it. So anything I say optional is what I add to it. But the materials you need are an oven, a pizza pan, parchment paper, mixing bowl, a utensil to mix with, a towel, a rolling pin, a basting brush, a pizza slicer or a knife, 2 cups of flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You also need your preferred sauce, your preferred toppings, including cheese, and optionally butter. You might need garlic salt, and your preferred seasonings. I use Italian, paprika, and Parmesan. So the first thing you want to do is combine your flour, your baking powder, your salt, and your sugar all into a mixing bowl. Then you want to add water and olive oil and stir until well combined. That will look like the image right here. You want to knead the dough until it's a smooth ball. This will take about 1 minute and should look like something like this at the end. Sorry. And then you want to cover that dough with a wet washcloth for 15 minutes and let that rest. When you're done, you're going to lightly flour a work surface and roll your dough into a circle. The circle is going to depend on how thick you want your pizza, but then you're going to transfer that dough onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. At this point, you would preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and the next step is to add your preferred sauce, cheese, and toppings, leaving about 1 inch of a border. So, got my sauce. I just use whatever cheese is in my fridge at the time. But I make sure to use a lot of mozzarella. toppings, I'm just adding some pepperonis. Okay. And as you can see, I left about an inch-ish of a border. And I say to do that because I like to fold over my edges to create a crust. And at this point, I'm just rolling it over itself. If you wanted to have a cheese crust, you would just add cheese sticks into these rolls. And now you would just place this in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I recommend about 17 minutes. And once you're done, you're going to, if you want, this is the thing I add, I brush my crust with butter and sprinkle garlic salt on it, and it kind of tastes like Olive Garden garlic bread once done correctly. I also season my pizza with Italian seasoning, Parmesan, and paprika, and it is amazing. The last thing you do is you cut and serve. Much like the Neapolitans, I was looking for a simple and inexpensive meal, and I found it in this homemade yeastless pizza. The satisfaction of creating a delicious meal from scratch has made pizza night a cherished tradition in our home. This recipe not only saves money, but allows for creativity in various toppings and flavors. By making pizza at home, I can also ensure the ingredients are fresh and cater to our dietary preferences. Thank you.